They save their burn spells to actually go for the kill. So Street Raid's going to start it off here for Stefan. Already down to 18, but he'll stop his turn there and say go. So has a Thought Scour for end of turn. Here's going to be a Goblin Guide attacking for 2. So Stefan will fall to 16. The reveal is a land, so Island goes to the hand for Stefan there. He again does have Thought Scour available here. I believe he also has a second Street Wraith in his hand, so he can draw a little more if he wants to. We're down to 15. Yeah, he's definitely on Death Shadow. All right. Lots of Death Shadow in our area all of a sudden. All right, so this is interesting. So if he's getting this Blood Crypt, which it looks like he is, he can't play Thought Scour. I'm curious if he like maybe overthought his mana here, and does he have a bolt or something? He's at 13. Oh, he's in a Fatal Push. Okay, sure. All right, sure. So away goes the Goblin Guide. Got a bit of damage in, which is really, I mean, it helps both players' game plans, so it's not, it's hard to say who gets advantage by that. Now, I will say that Stefan does not currently have a threat in play. He doesn't have a Death Shadow in hand, doesn't have a Tasker, doesn't have a Gurmailer, he doesn't actually have any way to win this game. He needs to find something, again, specifically or preferably a Death Shadow itself, because that is usually the fastest clock. Here is an Eidolon of the Great Revel on turn 2 for Braiden. Stefan may be thinking what he wants to do here. He may have a response. I don't know if this is in response or not. It's a Thought Scour to mill a couple cards. Okay, it was in response. He didn't want to take the damage, so Eidolon now resolves. We'll go ahead and start Stefan's third turn here. Stefan needs to be careful. Has to manage his life total accordingly here so he doesn't accidentally die to, you know, a couple burn spells being flung at his face. It is an easy way to lose this matchup, so. Okay, Street Wraith comes down. Or, well, gets cycled, I should say. Down to 11 goes Stefan, and a pass of the turn back. I feel like his hand is just a lot of lands, which is not what he wants here. There's an attack for 2, so Stefan at a 9. And it looks like Braiden is going to go ahead and say go. He's totally fine with what his game plan is here. And Braiden in a very good spot here to win this game. Like Stefan to play, he would need to have a Tassiger or a Gourmet Angler here to make a difference. A Death Shadow would put him to 7. He'd be dead because Braiden has a Boros Charm in hand that I know of. He also has a Skull Crack. So I feel like Braiden has this game won. Here is a Boros Charm. Now Braiden will take 2, fall to 17. Stefan's going to go ahead and Stubborn Denial, so he only goes to 7. He's at 7. He took 2, so 7 is the total. There we go. Another attack for 2, so Stefan down to 5. Lava Spike you to 2. Braiden to 15. Not a big deal. Okay, interesting. We must have life totals wrong. Okay, it didn't matter. Braiden does end up winning the game still, so not a big surprise. Stefan just didn't draw a threat. He just didn't have anything. So we're going to head to game 2 here. Going to the sideboards, our players are going to try to see what they have for this matchup. These are 2 popular decks right now in Modern, so players likely well equipped for both, or both well equipped for this matchup. I did see in Stefan's sideboard there was some number of collective brutalities. Those are pretty good against burn. Oh, okay. So I think what happened was Braiden missed the Stubborn Denial trigger. Or, sorry, the Eidolon trigger on Stubborn Denial, which I could have sworn he pointed at, but maybe not. Regardless, he still wins. Didn't really make a difference in the end of it all. All right, so Stefan here, still going through some choices. If he has any more sideboard Stubborn Denials, it's probably a matchup you want them for. Again, Brutality, obviously very, very good in this matchup. This is the matchup it's in there for. One of the main, if not the main, matchup it's here for. Our card is the House against Burn. All three modes are relevant. Just so good. All right. I'm going to look at their opening 7 here. I believe Stefan had... He had some sort of Delve threat in his hand. I saw the Sultai watermark. So, we'll see. Looks like it's Braiden's turn to mulligan, though. He'll go to 6 here. His 7 was not going to do it. I think he was land light. He might not have had any lands at all, to be honest. But if nothing else, he was land light. So, I definitely saw spells in his hand. Alright, so look at 6 here. What are we going to find? Deflecting Palm. That's a fun one. Alright, we keep our 6. We scry to the top. Here's a Scalding Tarn being sacrificed immediately. It's going to go ahead and I'm imagining finding some sort of Shockland here. And it'll be coming into play, I imagine, untapped. Sure enough, there's a Watery Grave. Down to 17 goes Stefan. Do we have a Thoughtseize? Thoughtseize is one of those cards that a lot of decks, not a lot of decks, but some decks will take out against a burn deck just because it's damage inflicted to itself. I think it's wrong to do that just for the fact that Thoughtseize gets to take away 3 damage by you taking 2, so... well, this is game 2, so I don't know if it's in his main, but it's probably really good, yeah. Inquisition's going to look at a pair of Deflecting Palms, a Path to Exile, a Lava Spike, an Inspiring Vantage, and a Wooded Foothills. Stefan going to have a read there of Deflecting Palm. There's 2 of them, so it's a little rough. Path to Exile, the only true removal spell in Braiden's hand currently. Again, it is good one against this deck. It's deals with all the big creatures with a single mana. So, but Stefan's gonna go ahead and take away the only actual burn spell in Lava Spike. So, gonna try and slow Braiden down here. Braiden top decks and plays a Swift Spear. So Stefan will fall to 16 thanks to the 1/2 haste prowess, and we'll go back to Stefan for his turn 2 here. His draw, I believe, was a Steam Vents. There is a Fatal Push in hand. Also has a Blood Crypt, so could get rid of this Swift Spear this turn. He also has a Serum Visions there, I see. So a little bit of card play he has this turn. So again, I believe he had a copy of either Tassiger or Angler in his deck, or in his hand, I should say. If I'm not mistaken, I saw that Sultai watermark. So he's going to go ahead and he'll shock in the land. Maybe it's not Serum Vision. Maybe it's Stubborn Denial, but he'll shock in the Blood Crypt. Not even going to attack? Why is there no attack? What are you afraid of? A Snapcaster Mage? I guess. I don't know. That seems like a really bad trade for Stefan to make, though, so I'd be okay with him doing that. Here we're going to have a Thought Scour. This is after Fatal pushing away the Swift Spear. This is all on end steps, so mills over a Terminate and a Thought Seize. I believe the draw was into the land, but turn 3 here. Collective Brutality in hand now, though. That's a great one here. Now, I will say, the only mode he can't use is going to be the give a creature -2/-2, which isn't that big of a deal. The important modes are being used to get rid of instant or sorcery in Braiden's hand, as well as drain him for a couple points now. Don't always necessarily want to gain life with Death Shadow, but he is going to escalate it, so he will use the only 2 modes he can. So Braiden will fall to 18. Stefan will go to 16. And then we'll take a look at Braiden's hand again. Nothing to cast in response here. So, yeah, still just a pair of Deflecting Palms, a Path, and a Wooded Foothills. So take away the Path this time. Leave with a couple Palms. Again, when you know they're there, they're not as scary. They're still obviously very good, but looking at a Gurmag Angler, also a Tassiger, so he actually has both. Cards in graveyard right now look to be 7, now 8. So we can play both across 2 turns, right? Actually, no, we're 1 short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And yeah, the combined total of the spells is 13. So yeah, Stefan's actually going to be 1 mana short of being able to cast both. Now, with that being said, he's going to draw a card, of course, on his next turn. If that goes to the graveyard, it gets to fuel whatever he's playing. So here is Tassiger. Gonna double away a couple more cards here still. Getting rid of all of his lands. I don't think you want Terminate, yeah. I don't think you want... I think you can get rid of all your removal spells here, right? Like, you know your opponent's hand. Alright. So, exile a bunch, play a Tassiger, say go. Braiden, of course, currently no answers to Tassiger. His draw for the turn was a basic mountain, so not going to be any help there. The hand for Stefan, he drew a Scalding Tarn. It's a good draw. Gets to go ahead this turn and also play that Angler. Oh, looks like he already could, actually. Never mind. That must have been kind of his graveyard. Regardless, there is the Scalding Tarn. Also, importantly, though, it's the 4th land, so... Stefan will just say go. He doesn't want to attack into that Deflecting Palm just yet. So end of turn, we're going to fetch out a basic island. Imagine we're going to be seeing a Tassiger activation here. Yes, we are. Mill over another Scalding Tarn and a Serum Vision. So probably is going to give him Fatal Push because it doesn't have a target right now. Yep. I mean, it's not... You don't feel good about giving your opponent that, but it has 0 impact right now. You don't want to give him a spell that says draw a card because that can find him a Death Shadow. Now, I mean, if I'm Stefan, I probably want to start attacking anyways. If my opponent has Deflecting Palm, This is my smallest target for it to hit. So I think I'm okay with him palming Tassiger attacks versus like palming a Death Shadow attack. So another Fatal Push going to hand probably. Yep. Braiden's draw I think was a Lightning Bolt. All right, so we found Death Shadow. Right now it is not playable. I mean, you can. It would just die. That's a dead Death Shadow. Unless we have life totals wrong, that Death Shadow is dead. I must have life totals wrong. No, I don't. Okay. Just a dead Death Shadow. Card's not as good when you make it a -2/-2 and you play it. Yeah. That's definitely a way to fuel your delve. Put my Death Shadow into play, have it die instantly, and then I will delve it away. Beautiful. Next level. Okay, there is the zombie fish. So Gurmag Angler is here. And we're going to say go. So end of turn, Braiden's going to go ahead and fire off a Skullcrack and say, see, if you had waited, you could have played your Death Shadow, but instead, you can't. He's also going to go ahead and fire off a Lightning Bolt. I think he kind of knows the path is a little clear now, just because Stefan already played one Death Shadow to kill itself. So he's like, okay, well, now you have less Death Shadows to worry about. So with double Deflecting Palm in hand, he's in a very good spot here still. He's only going to be forced to use one if Stefan has some sort of hand interaction. Stefan can't even attack right now. Very importantly as well, Tassiger does say damage dealt to you, so you can't like decide to go ahead and attack with the Goblin Guide and then Deflecting Palm the damage when they block it. It has to be going to you. The card would be pretty good if it just would stop any damage it deals. So we gave him back a Serum Visions with the Tassiger activation. Braiden might go for the burn win con or the mill win con. I doubt it because burn has more burn spells than Stefan has cards in deck probably. Stefan saying, "Do you want to give me a stubborn denial?" Braiden saying no. Okay, interesting. I don't know about giving him back the Thoughtseize. Sure, it costs him 2 life, but it gets to take away a Deflecting Palm. Which kind of need right now. Huh. I feel like at this point you can probably just even give him back Death Shadow, to be honest. Unless he actually delved it away. I don't know if he did, but like a 4/4 gets palmed just as well as anything else on this board, so. Okay, here's the Thoughtseize. Stefan going to go to 7. We're going to look at Deflecting Palm, Goblin Guide, Monastery, Swift Spear. So, sure enough, away goes one of those palms. Not too surprising there. Stefan still can't really attack safely. The palm would still put him to 2, with the Gurmag Angler being redirected, basically. So here's the Serum Visions. So we went 1 top, 1 bottom, if I'm not mistaken. A full grip right now for Stefan. I think the draw was a Searing Blaze. Okay, we're going to play out Goblin Guide and Swift Spear, and we're going to attack. What is this? Well, first and foremost, we have a Goblin Guide trigger to resolve. I think we might have missed that trigger, so... Stefan, not even going to block. He's just going to Fatal Push both of these creatures out of the way. Sure. I don't... Okay. Brutality also on top of the deck. That is a huge one to have on top of his deck right now. That gets to take away the other Deflecting Palm and open this game right back up for Stefan to actually have a shot at winning it. Up until this point, both Deflecting Palms were just kind of holding him back there. Again, which is why I'm a little surprised Braiden gave him back Thoughtseize. It's just so... It just takes away a palm. Okay, here is the Clutch of Brutality. It's going to go ahead and discard a second copy of Tasigur. So Braiden... Yeah. So take away Palm. Let him keep Searing Blaze. That's fine. Braiden at 16. Stefan at 9. Braiden's just dead now, right? Unless he plays a third Deflecting Palm somewhere. This game, I don't think went the way I expected it to. In a couple different ways, but... Here's an attack for 9. Braiden at 7 now. Sure. Eidolon chump blocks. Doesn't matter. It's a Fatal Push. 7 all, and here's the attack for 9 to end the game. So, alright. We're going to head to a game 3. There's sure is a lot of thought being put into attacking when you know your opponent's whole hand. Alright. So, I think... Potentially a bit of a misstep on Stefan in the beginning for not taking away the Deflecting Palm sooner. And I think a bit of a misstep as well with Braiden giving him back the answer to one of the Deflecting Palms. Deflecting Palm is just one of your best cards in the matchup. Again, it's a little less effective when your opponent knows it's there, because then they get to play around it a little better, of course. However, you're still fine with them... knowing about it if they can't deal with it, just because they can't attack either. Like we saw that game, Stefan just didn't attack for the first, with that Tasigur for how many turns? I don't even know. But eventually, like Braiden, to be fair, he just didn't draw enough burn spells. If he drew more burn spells, it would have been a different game, I feel. Eventually, Stefan's deck will find answers to Deflecting Palm. He plays Inquisition. He plays Thoughtseize. We see he plays Brutality postboard. Eventually he will find an answer to your hand. So you can't sit there forever with the palms. You need to hopefully find some burn spells. And you also, again, don't want to help him find the answers to the palms. So, Braiden will be on the play here for our game 3. Going to be... looking to see if he can stave off Death Shadow here in round 1 of 4. Alright, so it looks like Braiden has kept. So has Stefan. Did Braiden keep a 1-lander here? Okay, Mountain, suspend a Rift Bolt, say go. Stefan, draw, I believe was a Thought Scour. There's a Bloodstained Mire. We're going to go ahead and sacrifice that immediately. So we're going to go to 17 is my guess again. So usually where Death Shadow starts their turn 1. Yep, Water Grave fetched out. Okay, where are we going to start here? Do we have some sort of hand interaction? Nope, we have Serum Visions. Okay. So we're going to draw and scry a couple cards here. There's a Thoughtseize among them, if I'm not mistaken. I think the other card's a Snapcaster as well, actually. So I think it's looking at Snapcaster, Thoughtseize. Did I say Thoughtscour? I meant Thoughtseize. He keeps both on top, and I think it was in the order of Thoughtseize and Snapcaster Mage. So here is a Rift Bolt going to the face. Stefan at 14. Braiden going to go ahead. Yeah, he did keep a one-lander, but his deck bailed him out. Drew him right into the Arid Mesa, which will find a Sacred Foundry immediately. So down to 17 is Braiden. I think he got the one-lander. I think he has a lot of one-drops, which is okay, but could get into a lot of trouble quickly if he doesn't find a second land. Here is an Eidolon of the Great Revel on turn 2. That's pretty good because Stefan is still in his setup stages, where he's playing a lot of card draw and hand interaction. It's all going to cost him a little more life now, so Thoughtseize costing 4 life is really rough. But there's Brutality, I think. I don't know, some of the black cards are so dark. Thoughtseize, a couple Thought Scours, Stubborn Denial. Yeah, it's definitely Brutality in his hand as well. So down to 13. I'm going to assume 11. He's thinking about it. Yep. Goes ahead and grabs a Blood Crypt. So down to 11 goes Stefan. And Collective Brutality. He's going to take 2 more points of damage for it. So essentially his life total is going to even out. Yeah, Braiden pointing at his Eidolon trigger, Stefan out of 9. He's going to discard a couple cards here. Thought Scour being one of them. Is he only choosing... He chose to give it -2/-2, and he chose to drain? No, he chose to look at his hand as well. Okay, so he didn't drain, though. Okay, interesting. So Stefan going to be at 9, and we're going to look at Bolt, Skullcrack, Lightning Helix. Okay. Yeah, I think taking a Bolt is the correct choice because... it's less mana, so Braiden can fire off 2 in a turn. Braiden right now needs to find a 3rd land to be able to fire off across... Oh, he did. Okay, never mind. Yep, Braiden will just go ahead and drop down this land and say, you need something, or you're dead, and he knows it. Man, what a rough 4 cards to look at. We have Thoughtseize as well, so... We're not dead. Braiden will get to fire off the Lightning Bolt and... I don't know, Skullcrack or Helix are kind of the same, I think. Skullcrack, obviously... Did Stefan just say go? Okay, he has a Stubborn Denial in his hand, so he's not dead. Okay, he's going to fire off the Helix, so Braiden will go to 18. Stefan goes to 6. Like, you just untap here, right? You just untap here. Like, it has to be Stubborn Denial. If your opponent plays absolutely, yeah, I think this is correct on Braiden's part. Because if he finds a land here, he wins. He didn't find a land. But Braiden just passes the turn. He drew another Helix. Yeah, it's game here because Stefan taps out with blue mana. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, congrats to Braiden. He played.